What's up, fight fans? And thank you for tuning in here at another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I'm always your host, Round One. Now, we have an interesting fight that just was announced. We have Joe Cardenas versus the young, up and coming, like soon to be, like what I think is going to be a multiple division world champion, and Abdullah Mason. He is currently the WBO 135-pound champion, and he has accepted this fight with Joe Cardenas. And boy, is this a burner! We're gonna break down this fight and much more of the fighters that are also on this fight card right here. Tiger Johnson, Frontline Zone, Bruce Carrington, Shoo. Shoe York. Hey, yo, Frontline, your boy is up. So we're gonna be talking about that fight card and much more. So lock in, tune in, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and like always, let's hop right into this episode. Yo, so while you guys are tuning in and coming to the channel now, I gotta know if this stuff works. So I'm gonna try some shit out. Then I want to go back because I hear them in my ears. So give me a second. Man, nothing played. Damn it, man. Back to the drawing board. All right, so let's cover this fight here, man. Abdullah Mason, he's a young champion. I see a lot of potential in the young man. I think that this is Abdullah Mason's era. You him, hold on. Him and his brothers, the Mason brothers. Two of the brothers are going to be fighting on the card. His older brother, in fact, is going to be fighting on the card as well. I want to check them out and see what they look like. If they look anything like their younger brother, the current world champion. Abdullah Mason really made the most of his opportunities young in his career. Abdullah Mason, he wasn't supposed to be just yet in line for that title shot. I think in the best case scenario, Abdullah Mason should have ended up fighting Keyshawn Davis, wouldn't you say, for that belt? I think that Keyshawn Davis, had he made weight against Edwin De Los Santos, he would have beaten a weight drained 2 years inactive Edwin De Los Santos. Although Edwin De Los Santos would have been a dangerous puncher throughout the whole fight, I think Keyshawn Davis would have nullified that shit. He would have kept putting accumulation of damage on Edwin De Los Santos, and I think ultimately he would have beat Edwin De Los Santos. Okay, because Edwin De Los Santos was hanging on by a thread after he made that cut, that weight cut. So much, in fact, that no amount of money was going to get him in the ring with an overweight Keyshawn Davis. He said, hell no. It was bad enough I did this, but if you would have if Keyshawn would have made the weight and drained himself, Edwin would have said, well, then I would have gave it a shot. You understand? So Abdullah Mason made the most of his situation. In that night when the fight fell apart between Keyshawn Davis and Edwin De Los Santos, Abdullah Mason was elevated to the main event. And he went in there and he performed. So I think that what's up, Fun Truck? Glad to have you up here.
Round one.
What's up, brother? How you doing? And I think Abdullah
Me too.
Mason made the most of his opportunities. So that's what I'm talking about right now, Front Truck. If you've been watching the show, I've been talking about Abdullah Mason and this Joe Cardenas fight. Uh, what do you have to say about any of this? Do you
Well,
like the fight?
I gotta say a lot about Abdullah Mason. He's your prototypical throwback fighter, putting himself in the line of fire. A lot of people, there's this narrative when fighters get dropped like in Inoue and Abdullah Mason. That's because these fighters are stepping. In order to be aggressive, you got to put yourself at risk. You know what I'm saying? So Abdullah Mason getting dropped by that guy who tore his MCL, ACL in that leg. I mean, in that fight. You know, that was a little disappointing to see, especially because he got dropped twice once after hurting him.
Yep.
And that is to say that he can learn from his mistakes. A lot of the time you hear constant fans complain about the defensiveness of a Shakur Stevenson and a Devin Haney. They're not exciting fighters. Well, now you have a very exciting black lanky fighter who's being aggressive on the front foot. He's stepping towards these fighters. So I think that he's capturing a wide array of boxing fans because I've heard I'm in the amateur boxing scene as a coach now, and I ask these kids who their favorite fighter is. A lot of them are saying Abdullah Mason.
Yes.
So, Joe
Yes.
Cordina, to put a bow on it,
Hmm.
Cordina, this fight against Cordina is, I don't know if it's necessarily a step up. It's definitely a step sideways. I would have liked a little bit of a better name, but maybe that's just my opinion. Can you convince me that it's a step up?
Okay. Here we go. The First of all, I want to answer a lot of the things top points that you made on Abdullah Mason. Okay, when Johan Vasquez dropped him in the fight, that he did tear his knee, and he still get dropped in the fight. That is a young lion stepping into the fire, like you said, and willing to step into the 50-50, even when being knocked down. Some fighters would shy away that young in a career. He'd be shocked, first time down, a little embarrassed. Instead, Abdullah got up and walked back into the fire. Although he learned a lot from that fight, and in those exchanges, he could walk away saying he learned a lot. Um, it's also a lesson not to underestimate your opponent. He must have thought and saw the shag in the back of his head with the bald head and said, "Yo, this dude, I got him," right? And homeboy ended up being a puncher.
Yeah.
Johan ended up being a puncher. So when you talk about
Mm-hmm.
Joe Cardenas as a value, a worthy opponent, let's just not forget that the last guy pulled out. So this is a reschedule for him. So, okay. And then you're talking about Joe Cardine that only has one loss. He only has one loss. Now, and I think in that's the fight he lost his belt in fact, right? Joe Cardenas, he's had the IBF Super Featherweight Championship. He's a former world champion. He also had the European title, the IBO. So, he's a former world champion. So this is how Abdullah is starting his title run. His first,
Perfect. And he's young. Abdullah's
yes,
young. He's being active. I love to see that. My favorite fighters right now are the fighters that being active. I
absolutely,
fucking hate the 1 year layoffs. Can you believe that Rolly Romero fought Ryan Garcia like over a year ago, last year? It's like, come on, put the fucking fight on. You have a belt. You should be mandated to fight within the 1 year calendar time. It's
yes.
ridiculous, bro. But then you got fighters like Abdullah Mason being active anyway, being active. Um, Keyshawn Davis being active. Keyshawn Davis just fought January 31st. And Nahir Albright, respect to him because he fought on the same card against the Frank Martin. And you got those guys lined up for a fight against each other. Actually, out of all of the guys that fought January 31st on the TO card, Big Baby Miller was the first one to fight since then. You
Mm,
know, I mean, since Tio Shakur, Tio and Shakur have not announced a fight. Um, I would really like to see these fighters be more active, man. It's frustrating as a boxing fan.
right, right, right.
But there's some people there's to the Cordina and Abdullah Mason topic.
Yep.
There's some fighters that are picking. Sorry, some people that are picking uh, Cordina. I know Mick from Scotland. He's picking Cordina to beat Mason. So it should be interesting. There's some people actually getting behind Cordina.
Right. Because of the experience of a former world champion. When you talk about activity, right, and you talk about some of these world champions and their activity really taking a dive, I hear you, brother. Boxing has to have a schedule. We have to have these fighters at least get in the ring every 6 months. At least 6 months is a very long time when fighters like Naoya Inoue is fighting every 4.5 months. He's fighting 4 times a year. You talk about activity, right? Look at this young fighter in Abdullah Mason. In 2022, he had 6 fights. Just in 2022. Look at his work rate and his he wants to get in there and prove himself. And the only way you can do that is by fighting live bodies, not getting an email belt, trying to get it the easy way, or and then taking another tune-up fight in between that and fighting the next year. Boxing has to have a schedule. And one of the ways that they're starting to give you that is all the top promoters went to the zone. So thereby they now can mix and match. You're going to start to see, like we're seeing, top ranked guys, the zone guys, Oscar De La Hoya guys on cards. And they're using that to fill up the gap and the schedule in boxing. It's one way to give us the boxing, but another way is also to be like, yo, Tank Davis, what the hell are you doing? Some of these fighters are just fighting too far and in between. Way too far. I mean, Arrow is taking the notion to an extreme extent. Shit, we ain't seen you in the ring 3 years, and you're coming back and fighting Tim Tszyu, an active fighter. That's a tough fight, my man. I hope Arrow all the best in the world, but that is a tough fight. But the conversation was activity. I like Abdullah Mason's activity. I want to see his title run. Is this the beginning, or can Joe Cordina come in here? Yep, go ahead.
If you finish your fight, like announce your next one, even if it's like 4 or 5 months away. Benavidez is doing a good job of trying to line up his next fight the day after his big win against Zurdo. Yesterday I was listening to his father trying to line something up with Bivol or Betrabiv. Like his father says, it takes 10 minutes to book a fight with me. I'm Benavidez's manager and father, so it takes 10 minutes. He's like, Bivol, give me a call. Betrabiv, give me a call. Let's line some shit up right now. That's the type of fan that I'm becoming. Like,
right.
If you're fighting and you're running towards the smoke, I thought Devin Haney was doing that a little bit. After he finished his fight with his Brian Norman Jr. If he had picked his next opponent and lined something up, I would have been very pleased with that. I thought that was going to be the case. That wasn't the case. But back to Benavidez, they're trying to line something up and keep their name and the public's attention / eye. So we can talk about him for the next 4 to 5 months.
Right.
Inoue and Bam. Inoue announced his
Wow,
fight with
right,
Bam.
like that.
Exactly.
They know what they want. They're going at it, and they're knocking these fights. And you, man, listen.
That's what we're going to talk about for the next 4 or 5 months.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're not going to be, who's he going to fight? No, we
know what it is.
Fight.
Yeah. And I was going to use, give the fighters a little leeway in here, but you're right, bro. Like I was going to say, Devin's, it might be hard to get some of these guys in the ring with you, right? But you're right. I mean, look, if it ain't him, it's him. If it ain't him, let's get to this guy. But let's get you going. Let's get you, what I mean? And then put pressure on these guys. Did you see the pressure on Saul? Did you see the pressure while he was trying to support? Look, this was the gimmick. This was the plan of the night. Like, notice what was going on. Jaime Munguia was fighting Resendiz. Canelo went there to support Munguia, not to watch David the Monster Benavidez, right? He could care less. What he was there to do is to pass the torch to Jaime when Jaime wins. because Saul's on his way out, and he's gonna he's gonna try to get the Mexicans to back Jaime as the next great Mexican fighter. Okay, but what
Yeah.
happened?
Well, that
David the
could never
Monster
happen.
Benavides, right? David the Monster Benavides went in there and stole the night. He did what he was supposed to do. We could break down the fight in a minute, but what the plan was not for David the Monster to be the next face of Mexican boxing. It was supposed to be Jaime. And David the Monster Benavides snatched that torch right out of Saul's hands when the crowd and they put him on the Tumbletron and everybody booed him. They was like, boo, Canelo, boo. Now it seems like the boxing fans are holding him a bit more accountable. How you listen, how ironic that the two men inside of that ring that night that were fighting, David the Monster Benavides and Zuldo, Canelo, you dug both those fights. You didn't fight Zuldo and you didn't fight David the Monster Benavides. It was
Yeah,
like
he
I didn't
dug.
know the fans were gonna turn on him. No. Go
He
ahead. I didn't know the fans were gonna turn on him. I just now I see that now David is in a different conversation now. He woke up in a different conversation. He has the potential to being the face of Mexican boxing. And it seems like they're taking, and then David announced, like you said, his father, yo, call me. Call me, we'll set something up. Let's go. Let's get these fights going. No more chasing this one guy. Now, I talked about this and I want to know, Fun Truck, your opinion on this. Saul Canelo Alvarez, for all accounts, he's established. He's a undisputed world champion. He defended those belts, I think it was 3 or 4 times, right? Okay. Now, as far as that, he's going to go down as one of Mexican's
His
all-time
father said
greats.
something. His father said something to.
You're muted again. So he's going to go down as one of all-time greats. Now, is there a scenario where David the Monster Benavides can tie Saul or pass him as the greatest Mexican fighter in his era while Saul was active? Yes, he can, I think. And I want to know your take on this. Check this out. I said David the Monster Benavides already got 2 belts at cruiserweight. Go chase down the other 2. Become undisputed, right? Okay. By that time, either go down and fight Demetrius Bivol or have him come up and fight you. If you beat Demetrius Bivol, the guy that beat Saul, and then you tie Saul on undisputed, I think you can pass him. I don't know about like names so far because remember, David got a lot of time still. He got a lot of time to put names, but just in the accolade of being undisputed, that's where Canelo reigns supreme for Mexicans. And I said, Fun Truck, if he can become undisputed in cruiserweight and beat the guy that beat Canelo, do you think he passes him?
Yeah, I do.
I think there's a way David can restore his career and his dominance because the whole world knew it. No, that guy right there will whip your ass.
He can establish his career. David Benavides can. I did not
Yes.
like him calling out Canelo in the post-fight press conference. He sounds like a bitter or ex-girlfriend. Like, quit fucking begging for him. We know that
Yeah.
he's not going to
Let it
fight
go.
you. It's
The
like,
fight's not going to happen. Let it
yeah.
go.
And I think the fans get frustrated too. The fight's not going to
Yeah.
happen.
I'm done with it.
The fight's not going to happen, and they're calling for David to go to heavyweight. Like, why do you want to be
These fans are
in the same
crazy.
conversation? Like, listen, I want to fight Usyk, but at the same time, I want to fight Canelo. That's like polar opposites, you
Yeah,
know.
right?
It was strange to me, and so, but with Benavides, I really wish that luck he gets a little bit of luck because he hasn't had the best matchups. Like he needs to fight Bivol, Beterbiev, or Jai before they retire. And I think that the Jai fight's going to be the hardest one to make because of the Zuffa problem. But
Mm-hmm.
and Beterbiev and Bivol, they might fucking break their back in their next fight and just call it their professional career. And those guys, if Benavidez runs through those guys are on some people's top 10 for pound for pound list.
Of
So
course.
yes, when I watched David beat up Zurdo, I was
Mm,
impressed. I was like, holy shit, this guy is actually the real deal. You know, I had my doubts about him. I knew he was a good fighter. I always thought he was a sort of a weight bully, and that he has sort of this Tyson Fury like defense, you know, where he kind of leans back.
mm-hmm.
It doesn't look too polished, but it somehow works. Uh, for the past 3 days, I've been watching all of the interviews that have came out after the fight. Benavidez is saying all the right things. He says, you know, I stood in the pocket and I got hit once to give my two, and he goes, I switched to southpaw. And the most impressive thing that he did in my eyes was throw the hardest punch on the eighth punch on an eight punch combination, because he went ba
Right.
ba 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 ba, and then boom, hit him with
And
that
sat
the
down on
eighth or
it.
ninth punch.
His
That's the
pull
great. It
game,
fucking blew my
his
mind.
his peel game was
Yeah,
great. I like how he peeled his glove the first couple times and he hit him upstairs. Then in one
yeah.
of them he peeled it and then he went to go up and he hit him in the body. Boom. And then he peeled from
I
the other
probably had
side.
before the.
I'm losing you there. I'm losing you. Um, I want to talk about that David the Monster Benavidez fight and frequent flyer. Frequent flyer. I'm glad you're here, my brother. I'm glad you're here. I want you I want your opinion on what I'm about to say. Okay? I've been hearing a lot of things all over through social media with the Naoya Inoue and David the Monster Benavidez. Which monster actually showed up? Which monster had the better performance? And which monster, in fact, had the better competition standing in front of them? Okay? Who had the hardest task, the hardest fight? Who was challenged between David the Monster Benavidez and Naoya Inoue and Junto and Zuldo, right? Frequent flyer. Check this out. The next day I woke up and I had to be honest with myself. After I was like wowed by David the Monsters Benavidez rising over my expectations. I didn't think that the 25-pound weight jump plus Zuldo adding weight on the fight night, that David was going to have enough power to move him. I thought that David would beat him on points. I just didn't think he was going to do that. Okay. Now, let's talk about facts over feelings. Let's just think this through, guys. I'm asking you guys your opinion. What really happened? Okay? When Naoya Inoue and Junto went into their fight, that fight was so highly skilled for the first 4 rounds, neither guy wanted to really risk it all, because you can't. Had two intelligent fighters in front of them. There was very little you can get away. It was very high stakes boxing in the sense of the foot placement battle, everything. And the adjustments that were made in that fight, they were reading each other's body language in real time. In real time. Let's examine what happened in the Zuldo and David the Monster Benavidez fight. Zuldo came forward thinking he was going to walk through David the Monster Benavidez's power. And basically all night, David the Monster Benavidez pulled his guard, beat the crap out of him, outpunched him, outlanded him. But even Mike Tyson, at some point in the fight, the 4th to 5th round, Mike Tyson started saying, yo, stop letting this guy hit on you, David the Monster Benavidez. So Zuldo was having his moments as well. Was Zuldo's footwork superior? Was Zuldo a real superior fighter? Did he have a lightning jab? Was he outsmarting at any point David the Monster Benavidez and making it difficult for him coming in? Or was Zurdo standing there with the front door wide open, just standing there like this, taking shots from David? He really thought he could walk through David's power. David, the Monster Benavidez, congratulations to you to proving to me and to the rest of the world, your power carried over, no problem. No problem. So let's talk about the opponent. Whose opponent was tougher? Naoya Inoue's opponent or David the Monster Benavidez's opponent? Who is tougher? We don't want to go by accomplishments because Junto got Zurdo beat. He got 3 divisions to his 2. So Junto's better. And Zurdo went in there. He already lost. He lost once to Demetrius Bivol. Junto Nakatani was undefeated. Okay, fine. Let's not even look at that. But let's look at the fighter's durability. Who had the tougher fighter? Let's examine it. When David the Monster Benavidez stopped Zurdo and fractured his orbital bone, which I have to wait to see the medical record on that one, right? When he fractured his orbital bone, allegedly, Zurdo goes down. Let me fill you in on a little bit of information maybe you might not be aware of. You also know that Naoya Inoue fractured Junto Nakatani's orbital bone. And he's out of boxing right now for a fractured orbital bone that he suffered in the fight with Naoya Inoue. So when Junto's orbital bone got fractured, he finished the fight. When Zurdo's eye got fractured, he quit. Who had the tougher opponent? I'm just asking. Because Junto fractured his orbital bone in that fight with Naoya Inoue and fought the rest of the fight with a fractured orbital bone. The same injury Zurdo sustained. But Zurdo tapped out. Naoya Inoue had a fractured orbital bone against Nonito Donaire in the second round. He went 10 more rounds with a fractured orbital bone. Whose opponent was tougher? More durable? Didn't quit? Whose opponent stood on their feet and didn't get beat up? Who had the tougher of the opponents? Who was doing more? Would it have been easier to beat up Zurdo or Junto? Junto was slick. Them dudes was making reads in real time. And I'm going to tell you right now, David the Monster Benavidez, what he did going to cruiserweight, the only thing that puts David the Monster Benavidez's situation that you can put up what David did to Naoya Inoue against Junto, even though Junto was undefeated, a 3-division world champion. But in retrospect, 25 pounds, break that up throughout the divisions. How many pounds do you have to be to go from 118 or 115 to 118 or 112 to 115 or 118 to 122, 122 to 126? Add all that up. What he did in that one move is a 5-weight division weight jump. David the Monster Benavidez, you got to acknowledge that. He jumped up basically 5 divisions in one move. Forget about what Terrence Crawford did with Saul. That's done. As far as a human, that's done. Right? And because it's on the same basis. He didn't jump up and fought a tomato can. He jumped up and fought a unified world champion, David the Monster Benavidez. He didn't have 1 belt, he had 2. You got to add all this into the equation. So the weight jump itself and the fact that he stopped him, now that, my friends, got to count for something. It has to. I understand that Naoya Inoue had the tougher of the opponents. And true indeed, I think that his fight was there was more skill in that fight. A bit boring to the guys that want blood, that crave the knockout, that always live by the knockout. But you're gonna get those fans that act like they never seen a knockout before. They like forget. They act like that's the most spectacular thing they've ever saw. No, I've seen thousands of knockouts, thousands of them. So impressive. They never get old. Yes, a knockout never gets old. But yeah, I'm not gonna be a prisoner in the moment and go, oh shit. He knocked out Zuldo. He should be number one. Matter of fact, he's the best fighter in the world. Stop. You beat Zuldo. Chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got more to prove. He can. I gave you a scenario where I think he comes out on top of Canelo, but he has to do it first. And just in retrospect, let's put this out there. When fighters say Naoya Inoue, he ain't did much. What did he do? Okay? Who did he fight? I told you. 17 world champions. He knocked out 13. Here's a more impressive stat. Since the time David the Monster Benavidez, he's a monster, right? He's a monster. He's allegedly better than Naoya Inoue in some people's eyes. Okay. Well, here we go. Let's play this game. Since the time Naoya Inoue jumped into 122 and he fought the first world champion, which was a unified world champion, Stephen Kubo Fulton had 2 belts. Zuldo had 2 belts. Bing, 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 bing. Match. Right? Okay. Since the time that Naoya Inoue walked into his new division, it took him 6 months to get all 5 belts. All for the alphabet and the ring. All 5. 6 months. Hey, David the Monster Benavidez, you're on the clock. When people talk about this guy, like his accomplishments ain't shit, Naoya Inoue, like what he did is easy to do. Really, fighting fans? Really? You think this shit is easy? Okay, then. David, you just won the belt. You got 6 months to get all 4. Oh, sorry, all 5. In order to be considered better. Because how can you be considered better than me if you don't have what I have? In order for him to be better than Saul, he has to catch Saul first. You can't just crown David. No, boxing doesn't work that way. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? It's not like the NBA. LeBron can call himself the GOAT and just say he's better than Michael Jordan. He doesn't have to get the 6 rings. He can get a scoring title, and that's enough. No. The problem here with Round One Sports Talk, and I want to clear one thing. I do this every so often. I get a lot of shit about, oh, Edwin, why are you so crazy about this Japanese dude, Naoya Inoue? Why are you always like, and I'm like, hold up. Don't you like cheer for your favorite fighter, first of all? Right? So, Anyway, they say, why do you always, and I want to make this perfectly clear. It's not Naoya Inoue I cheer for. It's what he did. There's a difference. I can't devalue a man because he's small. Now that's being racist. I have to, you can only be judged for your position. That's it. And if you're not the best in your position, show me somebody that's doing it better than you. Then I would agree. But if there's no one doing it better than Tom Brady, Michael, then how can I say that someone is actually better? You got to do something. And that's, I value championships. I know, I understand championship. That's all I understand. If you got a belt, Rolly, you're a fucking champion. I will not shit on that. Dalton Smith, you are a world champion, bro. Josh Kelly, world champion. We coming after you, but you are a world. And until you get, as long as you have that belt, I will always, nope. You're not gonna come up here being a contender talking about fuck the champion, this, that, regular boxing shit. Of course, I all day. But as far as like fighters like Jaron Boots Ennis coming into the fight with Xander, no matter what I think of the outcome, no matter how nervous I am about this fight, I still want to let Jaron Boots Ennis disrespect young Xander because rightfully so, he has 2 belts. No matter how you say he got him, Jaron Boots Ennis or whatever, I wouldn't let nobody say that about your email belt. I wouldn't let nobody say that about the belt and how you fought Leones. I called you what you are, Jaron Boots Ennis, a unified world champion. Hey, opportunities are opportunities, right? What am I going to deny the belt when they email me? Hey, we're going to notify you through an email. You're now a world champion. You know what? No. I don't want that belt like that. Bullshit. It'll probably be the happiest day of my life. Now I got to go earn, I got to put some respect on the belt. I got to actually fight somebody worthy or go after another belt. That'll be up to the fighter. But what I'm saying here is I respect championships. I know the value and how hard it is just to get one of these belts. There have been men and women that have only had the skills or the abilities just to get one. Just one. It's probably the best moment of their whole fucking life. And all of a sudden, we're talking about these guys that are juggling belts and divisions effortlessly. 4 or 5 divisions now. And we're complaining? We're complaining. It's just like the Roman Colosseum. You can't please us. It's no sooner that we see the best fight. We saw David the Monster Benavidez slay Zurdo. We want more blood. More blood. Matter of fact, David, don't leave the arena. We're going to throw a body in there. Get him, David. Yo, we have gone crazy as fighting fans. But
they started calling out Usyk. I said, there's no way. There's no way that David should go up to fight Usyk. I can't believe it.
No, I'm in agreement with you, brother. I think that he needs to take his flag and stick it in the ground like we've always wanted him to do and really show his dominance in the weight division. Isn't that what we wanted? We wanted David because we were so certain of what we were seeing coming up. He was so young, so fast. His footwork wasn't that great, but he can get away with certain things in the ring with his footwork because of his ability, his offense. He can cheat a little. And that's where the special ones come out. That you can still have big flaws. And people will point it out, like going into the David Morrell fight. What did David Morrell call David the Monster Benavidez? RoboCop. He said, your footwork's like this. Hey, bro, the problem is David does a lot of things wrong. He'll crosswalk to the guy, shuffle, cross his feet, standing like in a T, but what they failed to account is that his offense is so in your face that's why he's able to get away with some of these things and still be successful. And David Morrell found out the hard way. He found out that, yeah, I could cut angles and everything, but when we actually have to throw punches, boy, them shits hurt. Like, boom, boom, and David's punching with you. Yo, that punch output, a lot of it was like pop, 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 pop. And like you said, he's a smart fighter, David. He knew when to sit down on that big one. He went pop, 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 pop. He kept him in the high guard. And when he felt that second of less, Zurdo, he felt like, oh, no punches. He went like that. And David sat on that punch, bro. You saw it. He was hitting him with good shots, but he knew when and the where. I talk about that a lot. The when and the where. When, hit your guy, boom, boom, boom. When to sit down on your punch, boom. Really put some torque behind it. And he beat the shit out of Zurdo. And then let's talk about the fouls that were committed. I want to let you guys know this. In boxing, in every sport, There's accidental fouls all the time. There's reaching hand fouls in the NBA and football. One guy will be running and he'll trip over the other guy's foot. It happens all the time. How many times in basketball did one guy step on another guy's foot when he's going up for a layup or something in the heat of the moment? Fouls happen. Okay? What Benavidez was actually trying to do was frame off and fend him off. Had Zurdo threw a punch, he was ready to put his elbow so that his fist hit his elbow. He was coming back around to like block like this. That's called framing. We frame and we push to create distance, to get space. You need that extra little space because David is long. So when he was doing this work, it wasn't like he was trying to use his elbows to knock Zurdo out. Now, the elbow did strike Zurdo right here, right? Okay. But let me tell you something, fighting fans. That elbow didn't win the fight for David the Monster Benavidez. Listen, you can't blame the fight, the entire fight, on just one moment, a foul, depending on what the foul is, right? It wasn't that serious. Now, meaning, what was Zurdo doing for 6 rounds? You're gonna put the entire fight on the fact that David swung and hit him like that? Okay. What did he do for 6 rounds to David? The elbow did not hit him in the eye. It was apparent what caused the injury. It was that punch. Boom, right in the eye. Knuckle right in the eye. Okay? So, what I'm trying to say is, I don't think that David was going out there throwing elbows with the intention to hit him. Because now David felt like, wait a minute, my punches ain't affecting him. No, David knew his punches were affecting him. David was starting to open up, unload on him. And I'm trying to tell you that fouls happen in sports. When a guy punches a guy in the balls, like 80, 90%, it's not intentional. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it really just not. He went low, boom. Sometimes the guy jumps up and you hit him in the balls and stuff. Okay. That happens. Sometimes you're framing like this and you can elbow a guy. Yeah, it happens. Okay, case in point. In that Espinoza fight versus Robersi, did the elbows beat Robersi? Or did Espinoza beat Robersi the second time? When Robersi quit because he was complaining about the elbows. And were the elbows intentional in that case? What I saw in the David Del Monte Benavidez fight, he was pushing off, framing, but he was anticipating Zurdo throwing a punch. I'm trying to tell you, had Zurdo thrown a punch, David would have caught his punch with this part of his forearm. It probably would have damaged his hand. Yeah. And then David was going to use that. You know how when like when Zurdo pushed David like that, and this goes right underneath the chin, and the referee tells you, hey, you can't do that, right? And you're pushing him off and shit. These kind of things happen. But I don't think that the elbows made the outcome of the fight. I don't think they were going to change the outcome of the fight. And I don't think really that the elbows played any factor. Although he might have got a little stunned by the elbow or whatever, but Zurdo's a big boy. He was taking full punches from David the Monster Benavidez before that elbow. Okay? It was just the amount of damage, he couldn't sustain it no more. And he felt like, oh shit, I felt something crack there, whatever the pain was, and he quit. He checked out of the fight. And all I'm saying is, Junto Nakatani suffered the same injury in the fight with Naoya Inoue, and you wouldn't even know it. You wouldn't even know it. How tough is that dude? They were trying to announce Junto's next fight, And it's already all over social media, all over that he has to take time off for the surgery to fix his orbital bone that got fractured in the fight with Naoya Inoue. It's all over the webs. Go check it out. And he fought to the end. So all this like, oh shit, yeah, David knocked out his guy. Yeah. How skilled was the fight though? You know, this fight was all skilled and this fight was knockout action. I believe that respectfully, both fighters did their job. They're both monsters, both of them. I think that David could be headed in a different trajectory where Naoya Inoue would want to be one day. An American superstar, a global household name. He's starting to head to the face of boxing shit. It's a pretty prestigious, like, you know, listen, you go all around the world, you say Ryan Garcia, they're going to know who he is. Say Jake Paul, they're going to know who he is. But go around the world and say Joe Cordini. Say Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason can walk out right now into New York. Nobody probably know who he is. Maybe one or two people might, but ain't gonna be no crowd. You don't got that kind of star status. David, just before this fight, he went to that club, that seafood restaurant or whatever. They were out there on the lake. They showed it on social media. And it was, I guess, you got to make an invitation. You got to call to set up to go inside there and eat, right? Invite. And David told him, yo, Ryan, I didn't set up. They're not going to take us. He said, did you make reservations, Ryan? Ryan said, reservations? No, I didn't make no reservations. Ryan walked up, opened the door. They said, Ryan Garcia, right this way. Party of whatever he wants this way. You know what I mean? And David, he was like, yo, sometimes I forget who you are and how big your star status is. Now David's starting to head that way. You know what I'm saying? And he done teamed up with Ryan, Super Wonder Boy Mexico. So you got the monster and the Mexican Superboy. Like, Ryan is like, if Oscar De La Hoya had a son, that would be Ryan Garcia now, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Yo, I imagine if you're a man like Oscar and you thought you had a son, he would be Ryan Garcia. He would be Ryan Garcia. Like, yo, you know, the fact that it's not his father, it's crazy, but yo, the same thing. Ryan got that kind of star status like Oscar did back in the day. Yeah. Yo, I remember Oscar shit. Yeah, when he was deep. He beat Ryan. That be his son, Ryan Garcia. Yo, it's crazy. But yeah, man. I think that David's headed towards there. Shout out to David the Monster Benavidez for really bringing us that knockout and that blood that we wanted. Yo, thank you, bro. We needed that. You know, I needed to see a moment, take you out of your chair type shit. Oh, shit. You know, the Naoya Inoue was more suspenseful. You know, every round it was like, damn, that one was close. Damn, that one. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, every round you were nervous. You were just nervous going into the next round. And then the fight really started to break out. Junto made the foot adjustment, and he started putting his foot on the outside of Naoya Inoue, like the 9th, 10th round. Then Naoya Inoue, he made an adjustment. Instead of going for the right over the top, because Junto caught him flush. He caught him, boom. And it was like, okay. So he changed it up and he went to the uppercut. He started going like this, spinning, uppercut, boom, on the inside. And it was just a beautiful performance, man, by Naoya Inoue and Junto. It was just boxing at such a high level. Every punch needed to be earned. Every situation, like, you couldn't do no rookie shit and get away with it. Your game had to be on point, and you had to be willing to go out there and fucking, you know, excuse my language, almost die. I don't want nobody ever get hurt, but that's the kind of mentality you would have to have. It was just a superior fight, but unfortunately, no knockout. But don't worry, because Mexico's own David the Monster Benavides took care of that for us. Now, didn't he? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He took care of that right there. He packed that boy right up. He said, "Bow, bow, bow, bow. Zuto, I done told you I was coming up here." Yo, that was beautiful, man. That was fucking. He did better than I thought. Benavides, he just did better, man.
Hey, let me throw this back.
I can't hear you, brother. I can't hear you. Go ahead, talk.
How about this? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, now. Yeah, I got you.
So, remember when Devin Haney fought Jose Ramirez and Teofimo fought Arnold Barbosa? And
I'm losing you.
I'm trying to disconnect my headphones. Is this better?
Yeah, that's a little bit better. At least the fan, everybody can hear. Yep.
Yo. You hear me, round one?
I can hear you. Low, but I can hear you.
Yo, round one, you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yo, you there? Damn, I lost him. My daughter's home too. Yo, guys, give me 1 second, please. 1 second. 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. Let me catch up with you guys. Frontline, if you around, you know Frontline's in the background lurking. You know he lurking and shit. Frontline's always lurking. Stop it. Stop it. You're. Oh yeah, I gotta get Frinker Flyers respond, and he never respond. Those end rounds. Those final rounds, it took that long for these guys to make, the ultimate reads on each other. It's really hard to trick a very intelligent fighter. It's something easy, to do. These fighters sometimes are a step ahead of you. You're trying to set up a combination and stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, the guy's already putting up the defense or the block or the counter to what you were trying to work on. He's making you feel like in the ring basic. Okay. In this situation, it was really like a test of patience, endurance, fortitude, being able to strike at the right times. Then I felt like at some point in the fight, Junto kind of started to sell out. He started coming forward, not fearing Naoya Inoue's punching power. And I think that's ultimately where he got his orbital bone fractured. In fact, in the later rounds, somewhere I think in the 9th round, I think it was. Somewhere in there. I'm not too sure, but I'm going to go look it up, right? And because that's when they really started banging. Junto's, like I said, he made that adjustment. He put his foot on the outside of Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue was putting in like the first 4 rounds. When he would step in, he would step around Junto's foot so that it put the exchange more favorable on his side. And if Junto was going to do the rookie move and spin into him trying to hit Naoya Inoue, he was going to get knocked out. But Junto never did that. He stood patient and he slid back. Boom, boom. He went like that and out. And then Naoya Inoue reset and then they kept playing that foot war. But when Junto made that adjustment, more adjustments were made. Naoya Inoue couldn't just bang on Junto like any other fighter he was once accustomed to. Naoya soon found out Junto was no fool. And he was fast enough, strong enough, and a little bit too dangerous to be pulling off that shit Naoya Inoue was doing with Roman Cardenas and Luis Pantera Nari, going in there trying to be like, yeah, let's get it, you know? He said, hell no. Not with this guy. And then when we talk about that, you know, you look at Naoya Inoue's run. He's 32 years old. He's, you know, on his way out. His competition, his opponents are getting tougher. Rather than these guys fighting one time a year and fighting Joe Schmo. He's actually fighting an undefeated 3-division world champion, unified, coming up to fight him. That's what his opponent looked like. He also gave Junto Nakatani his first loss, professional loss. There's no shame in that. Like I said to Scooter, Stephen Kubo Fulton. Listen, Scooter, at that time, before the O'Shaughnessy Foster loss, you had only lost to one dude. And he's like the best fighter in the world. Look at Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence, yo, look, I don't want you to get into that Stephen Kubo Fulton situation now. Now he got 2 losses, right? So, but all the way up until that point, it took the best fighter in the world to beat Errol Spence Jr., an undefeated 3-division world champion. That's the kind of man it took to beat Errol Spence Jr. at the end of the day, because no one else could do it. Is that not the truth? If he loses to Tim, now that it starts to mess it up. And these fighters, man, they got to know when to retire, to when to call it quit, not to mess up their legacy, what it took them a lifetime to create and build. So, yeah, in fact, that's what they have to protect. Ultimately, they have to learn how to retire and not mess up their records and their credentials. I think fighters like Roy Jones Jr., Manny Pacquiao, unfortunately, really messed up their records, man, because their stubbornness. Ali messed up his record. Mike Tyson messed up his record. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on. You know, had they retired at a one point in their career, they would be viewed as a much stronger champion. Had Manny retired, you know, way before that Floyd fight and getting knocked out, you know, I think he would have a stronger argument because he was already established. It's not like those last final years of Manny Pacquiao's career, he was packing on more legacy. No, he had already had all those accolades and belts. You know, so there was at one point, man, he could have retired and he could have been in a real strong conversation for like the best to ever do it type shit, you know. And, you know, look, when we also have conversations like this too, and they talk about like, you know, like the best champions to ever do it in history, boxing history. Joe Louis, at the heavyweight champion, he has like 26 title defenses, but they're undisputed title defenses at that time. It was only one belt, I think, but, you know, that's why you can't count that era with a 4-belt era. No. The closest we can do, to be fair, is a 3-belt era. I'll give you the argument's sake from a 3-belt era to the 4-belt era where we are in currently today. So Mike Tyson's era, when he was undisputed, he only needed 3 belts. That counts, you know, as an undisputed. How many times did he defend the undisputed championship and who defended it the most? So in fact, right now, Saul Canelo Alvarez, what do you have? 3, 4, right? Naoya Inoue has successfully defended all 4 belts 7 times in a row. 7 times. And he's the first in history to ever do that. There's nobody that in a 4-belt era that ever defended all 4 belts 7 times. So he's the first. As far as undisputed, runs that really counted in a certain era, Sugar Ray Robinson's era, también, that one, some of these records you can't count really with today's standards. We got to stop doing that. It was just, how am I going to put 15 rounds to 12 rounds? Your task was way higher. Like, logically, I can't do that. But as far as what you did, getting all the belts undisputed, I can count your undisputed reign. And there's just nobody doing it like Naoya Inoue. In fact, he's got a lot of good records right now. A lot of good records, but there are some records he just won't catch, unfortunately. Some of Mayweather's records he's not going to catch. Some of Mayweather's records are like personal records, like 50-0. Have you guys ever thought of this? Like, there's no award for retiring 50-0. Okay, you retired 50-0. Great. Great for you. Just, there's been a lot of men that retired undefeated. All kinds of records. That's not an accolade. Meaning, it's not a belt. It's not a division. What does it count for? 50-0. What does it actually count for? What does the old... That's why I say that Floyd tricked everybody. Like, okay, you're 50-0. That's not what makes Floyd Mayweather great. What makes him great is those 5 weight divisions he has and 26 world championship fights. And being undefeated. You put that at the end, right? But as far as accolades, Naoya Inoue can't catch Floyd when it comes to 50-0. He's not going to catch Floyd. What Naoya Inoue got right now? How many fights he's got? 30 what? 31, 32? What does he got? How many fights Naoya Inoue has? Let's see. I got so much boxing in my head. I kind of forget some of the simple, basic things sometimes. 33 and 27. 33 fights. He's 33 years old right now. He just turned 33. No. He can't catch him. He can't catch him. He fights 4 times a year. That's 34. 4 more times, that's 35. 4 more times, that's 36. 4 more times, that's 37. Right? You need, right now as it stands, you need 17 fights to get to 50. 17 fights. Even if he fought 4 times a year this old, there's no way he catches Floyd. What up, Frontline? There's no way he catches Floyd. And there's no way he catches Floyd in world championship. Naoya only fought 17 world champions up to current date. In order to catch Floyd's 26, right, he would need 11 more world champions to step up and fight him. He would have to literally fight 11 more world champions before he retires. Where are you going to find that? He's not going to catch Floyd, but and Naoya Inoue doesn't have to catch Floyd. He just has to outperform him and outdo him. Floyd has never been undisputed in no weight division. Remarkable 5, but Naoya Inoue got 4 weight divisions. He's 1 away from Floyd to tie him. He can tie him in that aspect, and then just his dominant run of defending the belts that many times. How many times did Floyd Mayweather defend his belts in any weight division? How many times? How many title defenses? We can look it up. What's up, Frontline? How you doing? Read some of the chats, my boy.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
All right. So, wait on. Let me see what Floyd. Let's see what his run was. I'm very familiar with Floyd. And I think Floyd Mayweather has like 16 or something consecutive world title fights. He might have more. Matter of fact, here, you guys can do this with me while Frontline gets his shit together. Let's check out the Hall of Fame legend, the one, the only Floyd Mayweather. Now, remind you, just if you're new to this, you're going to notice that if Floyd ever had a WBA world title, which I think it was only once and he returned it, I think he Zab Judah's belt, he never took it, right? I don't think he ever took it. But anyway, they don't acknowledge the WBA world titles and all over the belts they will. So here's the legend himself, Floyd Mayweather. Whether you love or hate him, he did a lot for the sport. He retired 50-0 with 27 big ways by knockout. He was 5'8". He has a remarkable 397 rounds boxing experience. So Floyd's, what's it say? Under his, let's get this out here. The hell is this? Oh, I thought I was pressing it. I pressed onto the ad. All right, come on. Come on, Floyd. All right, here we go. Floyd Mayweather, alias Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather. Yep, this is the guy. That's him. Okay. Damn. Floyd Mayweather fought 8 Hall of Fame fighters and knocked out 3 throughout his career. These are all the men that have already been inducted into the Hall of Fame right here on this line. See, that kind of shit is what makes Floyd who he is. On average, tell me anybody besides Saul Canelo Alvarez that's going to the Hall of Fame on Terrence's record. I'll wait. How many fighters are going to go to the Hall of Fame in the Oyainaway's record? How about Uzyk's? They only might have 1 or 2, maybe 3, 8. He fought 8 Hall of Famers. Okay. Shit like this. I'm not sure Naoya anyway can catch him and shit like this. Yo, this amateur record shit is crazy. Okay. They only gave him recognition for 24. Professional record 24-10, being in world championship bouts. Okay, he has 4 opponents at light middleweight, 8 opponents. Okay, Floyd, I see you. These are world title fights. So he did get a good little run here. You know, look, he got 9 here. Okay, his record, right here, his record of 26-10 in world title fights. His record 24-7 against current or former world champions. So they gave him credit for 24 of them. Because some of those fights, some of those guys had like secondary belts or something like that. Or they went on to be a world champion after fighting him. You can't get credit for fighting a former world champion if he goes on after you didn't fight him when he was a world champion or you know, he became one, you know, so that, you know, it's iffy. That's iffy. But this is Floyd's record, man. Look at these freaking names, bro. Listen, this guy right here, Hernandez, right? The first guy to give Floyd Mayweather a title shot at 130 pounds, that was actually Floyd Mayweather's idol. He had talked about this. Unfortunately, he passed away. And Floyd Mayweather thanked him so much because that's when the Floyd era, the dynasty, kicked off. That's where it all started with the Hernandez fight. And when he passed away, Floyd Mayweather was reportedly, it was reported that he paid for his funeral and he paid for all his services to have him buried and stuff. That's a big honor, a respect for Floyd and recognizing the man that, gave him his first opportunity of being the kind of champion he is today. Floyd dominated in that fight. He went on to fight other, Vargas, Diego Corrales, man, Carlos Hernandez. Man, he's got a lot of. Look at this shit, Juan. This is the guy that knocked out Manny Pacquiao, bro. Right? And then he beats the guy that knocks out Manny Pacquiao and beats Manny Pacquiao, but somehow he's not better than him in some worlds, in some circles. It's crazy. It's crazy. Man, he beat my guy up, Miguel Cotto. Damn, he's got Oscar De La Hoya, Ricky. Okay, these are all guys I already know, but when you see their names, you're reminded. Zab Judah, man. Damn, man, Floyd. That resume is fucking ridiculous, bro. I gotta admit that, bro. When is the last time you seen a resume like this? When in his era, like the everybody on this list probably fought each other too. Oscar got an impressive list. Juan Marquez, Juan Miguel, he's got a good names on his list. Zab Judah got great names. Shane Mosley, Manny Pacquiao. Come on, man. Marcos Madonna. Come on, man. Antonio Berno, I don't think he had some good names too. Come to think about it. Hell yeah, man. Yo, listen. You're not gonna see a resume like this no more, man. Fucking Julio Cesar Chavez is the last of the Mohegans. Enjoy Julio Cesar Chavez for as long as you can. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, man. We will never witness that again. Has a record of 13-3 against former or current world lineal champions. He fought 13 lineal champions as well and knocked out 3. No, Floyd got a lot of fucking records, bro. That's why he's the best. It's not his 50-0. His 50-0 is not Floyd Mayweather's greatest achievement, bro. By far. That's not what makes him the best. This shit is what makes him the best. Look at this shit, bro. Jesus Christ, bro. He's got on a pretty impressive amateur record. Man, he's 84-9. I can tell you one thing. He won that gold medal. He should be 85-8. And I think those other 9 ones, they might have robbed Floyd then too. I want to see them shits. Nah, I seen him rob Floyd before. Fuck that. Those are 9 robberies right there. This man was, he took care of business, Floyd. He definitely took care of business, guys. Yeah, man. He was, whether you love or hate him, bro, you could criticize him. He didn't fight this guy. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. He ran here. No. In position, managed himself good at the end of his career. And, Oscar was right. Floyd's a motherfucker. There was a rematch clause. I looked it up too. I remember I said it the other night and I had to go look it up and I looked it up. There's an actual video where Oscar says, me and Floyd had a rematch clause, and Floyd retired from the game of boxing 1 year and 1 day when the rematch clause expired. And
What's up, Edwin?
What up, Frontline? How you doing, brother?
Bro, I'm battling with customer service. Don't ever buy Inouye merch. They refusing to refund you your money.
Stop that, yo! Shut up.
On a defective pillow that headbutted me while I was sleeping.
Stop lying.
So, guys,
Okay, but
anytime you order Inouye merch, make sure you
No,
want it.
listen, but
But the
you guys
real reason
gotta
why I hopped
understand,
on
he is acknowledging he does buy Inoue merch. How else did he
had
get it? See what I'm
had
saying? See what I'm
had
saying?
I returned that shit. It
I,
headbutted me.
but you did buy it.
Defective.
Okay, listen.
So the real reason I jumped on is because the people in the chat are highly upset that you're talking about in a way when the title says they're here to listen about the upcoming fight with Abdullah Mason and Joe Cordiva.
Yeah,
But you're talking
the
about the Monster Benavides, the real monster, and then you're bringing up the Cookie Monster in a way. What's going on, Edwin?
because the person that actually came up to the show, front truck, had a conversation, and we had a boxing conversation, and that's where it led to.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. You heard that, guys, right? So fuck off. Let Edwin do his thing.
Yeah, I talked about the Abdullah Mason situation in the fight, but I'm also going to talk about that because we got to get to that card. We got to break down that card. We got Tiger Johnson on that card. We got your boy Shoo Bruce Carrington on that card. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Do you got the list in front of you, in fact?
I can pull it up.
Yeah, pull up the names and let the chat know the opponents.
Mr. Miyagi says Frontline doesn't know he's holding a sandal, not the phone. Damn, that pillow messed him up.
It messed him up. It messed him up. See? He's punch
I don't.
drunk.
Is it official yet? Oh, by the way, for those guys that follow Rohan Polanco, the mouthy Dominican, he's actually fighting on May 30th on a card in Puerto Rico that probably nobody's gonna watch. Unfortunately, it's a universal promotion card, and they
And I
really
don't even know how to get that stream, but I'll try to see if I can figure out how to get it.
it's on Triller. It's like 30
It's on
bucks
Triller.
for the pay-per-view. Who did we talk about? Abdullah Mason.
Abdullah Mason. Hey, yo, where you at in the chat? Abdullah Mason, Cordina is going to be fireworks. Mason gets through.
Mason's gonna destroy Cardina. I'm sorry.
I don't know,
Cordova.
bro. I don't know about that. I'm not too. Listen,
Here we
I've
go. Here's
watched
what
Joe.
we got. We got Abdullah Mason versus Joe Cordina. Bruce Carrington versus Rene Palacio. Delante Tiger Johnson versus Christopher Guerrero. Derek Davis versus Carlos Ramos. We got Ibrahim Mason to be announced, his opponents to be announced. And then we got Abdurrahim Mason versus Alvaro Cabral. That's
Now,
going to be on the Zone in Ohio, July 4th. That's a way to start
July
up the
4th,
fucking year.
yes. It's going to kick off the fireworks. You've seen the fireworks in the thumbnail. Listen, as far as, Abdullah Mason's opponent, right? Let's talk about this guy. This is what we wanted to talk about. I think that Abdullah Mason is taking a pretty decent step up here in competition. He, like I was telling you guys, he was a former world champion, Joe Cordina. And I think that his experience in the ring, Joe moves really well with his feet. He does. He knows how to use his footwork. He knows how to cover up. He knows how to exchange on the inside. I've watched several of George Cordina's fights. And yeah, I think that in fact, yes, this is a big step up, and it also goes down as Abdullah Mason's mandatory. So if he was to get by this guy, then it would free him up to take a fight of his own, although it would have to be in the top 15 or something. They have standards for the champions. Abdullah Mason's a young champion and he has 20 fights with 17 ways knockout, big ways by knockout. Impressive though, he only didn't knock out 3 people. So he's young. He's 22 years old. He took a little bit of time off after winning the belt, I think, really to sharpen his skills. He had a fight scheduled. For some reason, that one didn't occur, but Joe Cardenas is the number one for the WBO. He is the number one. Joe Cardenas is ranked number 7 in the IBF. Okay, so
He's a Brit.
I mean,
He,
go
he's a
ahead.
Brit. He's a Brit. He's got
Oh,
a
we getting it
decent
back with the
record.
yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. Hey, yo, where my UK fans at? Where my UK fans at?
Well,
We
Mr.
gonna run
Miyagi's
this
in the
back. I
building.
remember what y'all did to my boy Sabria Matias. Okay, okay. We gonna get this one back. We already got one on you on Sam Notes, right? So we already got one. So we're running it back. We're running it back. So let's see what happens here. I like that. I like that.
Hey,
Okay.
hey. Speaking of Brits, didn't Dalton Smith catch the high duck sprain ankle thingy?
Oh, I think he caught it. It's going around. He's got to watch out. He's got to bundle up well. You know what I'm saying? He's got to dress warm. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Anthony beat Joe Cordina. That's when he lost his belt. That was the day he lost his belt. So, I mean, listen, let me tell you guys, let me tell you something. That Gabriel Flores fight was a good fight, but Joe is too much, bro. He was just too much, man. But
I think he's a step up. I think he's a step up. Like, not. I'm not gonna say a high step up, but he's a little step up from Sam Notes. Like
you
the
think so?
next level.
I can agree to that. You know what? I can
I'm
agree
not
to
saying
that.
like it's a huge step up, but it
Right,
is a step up.
right. And Abdullah Mason took Sam Note's soul in that fight, bro. But he was just tough. Sam Notes is just like he was durable. Like talk about wanting to go out on your shield. Like Sam Notes, man. Most men would have folded by those body shots. Most men in
And
the world would have just dropped. And
mhm.
he was just like, boom, he was taking him. He was like, and you could see that he was trying to, the grimace, he was trying to like hide it, but he was really hurt to the body. And Abdullah was like, a just lengthy, nice step, reach
And
around,
you can see
real
the growth.
athletic.
You can see the
Huh?
growth in Abdullah Mason too, because
I can see the growth.
when he got knocked down 2 times by the chia pet haircut, um, bro, he hasn't made that mistake again.
Johan Vasquez.
Chia pet. Yep.
Yeah, that's his name,
Him.
Johan Vasquez.
It
So,
don't look like the chia pet only grew in the back of his head. It didn't grow nowhere else. Just the
yo, Abdullah Mason. Now, when Abdullah Mason he came into the fight with a full head of hair. When Abdullah hit him, it shifted it back.
yeah.
yo, yo, listen, man. Where have we seen that before? Miller, Big Baby. Damn, that shit was like flapping in the wind. Oh, that was
Just,
crazy.
just I do like I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. I do like the way Top Rank moves their prospects to get them into championship status, and then once they get into championship status and they become champions, I also like the way they step them up and keep their careers going without a high risk. I mean, it is boxing; anything can happen, but they don't give them a high risk to lose their title like they're doing. Not, I'm not saying they're doing it with Boots. I mean, and Xander, because Xander actually rose his hand and said, "Yo, nobody wants to fight you. I'm gonna show you I'm the best at 54." So that one's on Zayas. That's not on Top Rank. But for Top Rank
Right.
to go ahead and do it, they're seeing something. But with Mason, dude, Mason's a problem. Mason's a problem. I got to give it to Mason. Mason's a problem.
He's really talented right now. There are a lot of young talented fighters. I've got my eye on. Another talented fighter is like you got El General. Vargas. I think that he's a really young, talented fighter in Mason's era. But one of the fighters that is up and coming, he was in the news, in boxing news, but for the wrong reasons, is Tiger Johnson. Everybody knows that Tiger Johnson had that little scuffle with Team Devin Haney, and he left there with a few lumps and bruises of his own. And I'm glad that he's okay and that he's able to get back in the ring. At some point, Tiger Johnson just might catch up to Devin, and all this is going to come back to surface. I think Tiger Johnson is another talented individual. The way he
I
starts
don't.
Nicholas Floss like that.
I don't think he could get his get back with Haney though, unless he does a Sufa contract. But I'm sure.
Why? Whoa, back that up. Devin Haney ain't signed a Sufa. Is Devin Haney signed to sue for anybody? Has that become official? I think the conspiracy theories just kicked out Frontline. Oh, he got a phone call. Here he is. Frontline.
Yeah, I got a
What's,
phone call. It's probably gonna cut me off again because I'm gonna get another phone call. But
what happened with Devin Haney and Sufa? What are you talking about? What are these
well,
accusations?
Haney's going to, so he's going to be the ambassador for Sufa. Mark my words, it's going to happen. It's not out publicly yet, but it's gonna be public
Oh,
soon.
so this is just your assumption. Wistful. Here we go. Round one sports talk has his co-host up there spouting fake news about
It
Devin
ain't
Haney
it
going
ain't
to
fake
Sufa.
news. Listen, if you seen the Max Kellerman interview with Ring Magazine, he had Devin Haney and he had Tio on it. I send it to you. I don't know if you watched it or not.
Yeah, yeah.
But what's this bullshit? Let's sidetrack for a minute because I got to clarify something. What the fuck is this bullshit that Max Kellerman is spewing out there that belts, if you could be a belt holder, but it's a difference between being a belt holder and a champion. I don't get that. If you have a belt, a WBA, WBC, WBO, or an
Okay,
IBF,
first of
you're
all,
a champion. You're not a belt holder, you're a champion.
okay, first of all, right? Max is a very successful and accomplished, already established boxing analyst. And unfortunately, somebody gave him a job and required his services. But although Max Callahan is using his years and vast knowledge of boxing, which stamps him in the boxing world, he's tried to go out to other sports, basketball, football, and he got booed out of there. And here he is back in boxing. Turkey hires him, puts him in front of the microphone, and his job is to break these fighting belts down in an eloquent way. And his job, he works for Ring. His show is called the Ring Magazine Podcast. It's who he works for. The Ring Magazine does not honor these belts. So everything that comes out of his mouth, he's reading from a prompt monitor. He has to. They pay his bills. They pay his check. We don't pay you to think. We pay you to read the monitor the exact way it's up there. And don't ad lib. It's not what I pay you to do. So when you talk about a man like that, although listen, you can call it selling out, you can call it whatever you want. That man has a family to feed. Unfortunately, he's looking like real bad in a lot of things that he says. I've never seen a magnitude of a fight for a belt, the ring belt. This is the greatest fight in history for the ring belt. Like, he said a lot of things, but what
No, no,
he's
no,
not
no. I
saying,
get, I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I understand that's his job. He's gonna do whatever they tell him to do. I get all of that. But my question is that narrative that you're spewing out. stating that there's a difference between being a belt holder and an
That is his
actual
job. That
champion.
is the narrative. That is what they're paying him to do. The reason why he's doing that, you got to understand. You gotta try to see where their end game is. Why do you say that? That correlates and affects the belts that they're diminishing, and the other belt that they're saying is the only one that really counts, the ring. By saying that about these belts, by saying you're a belt holder, a belt thing, you're putting into the eyes and ears of the viewers that these belts are complicated, that there's corruption, that there's no structure. Don't you see? You can be this, that. What he's trying to add to the theory of the belt is more confusion. So you, as a fan, just do away with them. Do away with them, and the ring belt is the one that we need to focus on. It's all headed to one point. He's just attacking in it in different angles. But trust me when I tell you that everything he's saying and doing is all going to lead to one place, that the Ring Magazine belt is the best belt in all of boxing.
Hey, shout out to I Am Broly, became a member, level 1 contender. Salute. Welcome to the familia.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Salute.
I'm just
Let me put
someone.
you
I'm
up
getting
here.
ready to take off. He says, champion earns it through beating the champion holders, get it in the mail, interim, or champion vacated, and it was handed to someone, or 1 and 2 fight for it. All right. So, in lamest terms, I am someone. What you're saying right now is basically that Xander Zayas fighting for the belt for the WBO, and then fought Abbas Baru for the WBA or vice versa, whatever it was. He's not a champion because I'm trying to figure this out. Because he didn't fight anybody for him, and neither did Abbas Baru, but they were both champions. They fought each other. They both defended on their first fight after becoming champions. Doesn't make sense. I mean, for someone to say that there's a difference between a, I can understand the interim and the lower belts, but if you hold a major IBF, BLBA, or BC, you're a champion. I mean, unless it was gifted to you or whatever. But
No,
even
no,
then,
no, no. Here's how it works. Here's how it works, right? This Max is doing this because the powers that be are truly having him report this. He has to report it. I would assume that they're paying him a hell of a lot of money to do this to his credentials. Let me tell you something, Max Callahan. He might not know a lot about and be right in football, baseball, basketball, but one thing that man knows is boxing. I wish I knew what he knew. I wish. I'm jealous of a man like that. All the fights he's ever been to, the fighters he has met, the experience that he has. And that's why it was like a no brainer for Ring Magazine to bring in a man like that, because Max is truly stamped in the boxing world. Unfortunately, it came a time and price where you had to sell that out. Call it what you want. I see it as a business deal. Yeah, I'm going to sacrifice and take hits, my name, but that money, that paycheck looks awesome. All right, it might sting a little, but if Max wanted, one of the people in our chat said it right here. He said it best. I got it up right now, as a matter of fact, that if he wanted to start his own boxing channel and he was able to speak freely, you would see and hear a different Max. I can guarantee you. And he would, if he was free to say what he really felt, bro, he'll tell you. Max is a smart boxing analyst. It's just unfortunate that, the people that are coming to see him now, they're hearing him like this. I come back from watching boxing a long time ago. When his brother was alive, God rest his soul, and that crazy dude killed his brother. I knew Max before the injury to his face. Like, it was just I've been watching Max for a long time, and respectfully, I'm old enough to realize what's going on in his situation. And shout out to him. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. It sounds crazy a lot sometimes to hear you talk. Sometimes it hurts sometimes to hear some of the shit that comes out his mouth. I'm not a subscriber to his channel and I don't follow him, but I know who he once was. And I think Max right now is like, don't judge me. Remember who I once was. He's got like he said, don't judge me. You're right. You know what I mean? Like, that's how kind of like I see him. And I'll remember who you once was, Max, man, when you were free and you could talk freely, bro. You were amazing. You were truly amazing. What up? Yo! Peace to God, member for 4 months, level 1 contender. Shout out to you, my boy. Yes. I think Max Callahan is smart. Yes, he is. See, he's another guy.
Kellerman. Fucking around with you, Edwin. I'm saying everybody's name wrong. I'm saying shit wrong. Instead of
You
saying
know, change your
rehydration
name.
clause,
If I
I'm
change your
starting to
name,
say
that means I like you.
rehydration claw. Like,
If that's what hey, listen, you're talking to a former boxer. I got into a lot of fights. My brain got knocked around a lot. Shit, I'm even thankful I'm able to talk right now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Nah,
just
but
glad. I'm glad that you worked through your issues and you're able to say Xander Zayas because you used to call him Xander Zion. So I'm
that
glad you
was
got
on
that worked
purpose.
out.
Xander Zion. Actually, I found out that Zion is like the birthplace of the real world. That's actually the creation of where we came. So when I called him that, he was the dawn of the new era. You know what I'm saying? So
There you
actually, I
go.
wasn't messing up.
The only name that you get right, you never fuck it up, is Naoya Inoue.
Man, that's a lie. You don't know how many years
Well, you did write it wrong though. You
for
called them
6 years.
Nagoya.
I got Japanese
Nagoya
people,
ain't no
American people
way.
telling me the right man. I'll even pull up a text on my last video that a guy corrected me on this pronunciation of his name. He said it's Naoya. He put now and then Oya.
And his last name is Ain't No Way.
Shut up. Hey, yo, listen. Your boy Bruce Carrington better hold on to that belt.
He's good. He's good.
Why?
He's waiting to welcome. Hey, Angelo Leo fighting this weekend.
Yes, he is. He better hold on to that belt too.
He's gonna
All them dudes
thrash
don't even
whatever's
fight.
name.
Yo,
Raheem
hold on, hold on,
Rahish.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Espinoza won that belt, if I'm not mistaken.
He beat El Tren Robesi for it. Robesi
Hold
was
on,
the
hold on, hold
champion.
on, hold up. That was 2022. We're in
Yeah,
2026.
yeah.
Leo won his belt 2024. And if I'm not mistaken, Bruce Carrington and Figueroa, they just won their belt this year. So okay, they're on the clock. But what the hell have you guys been doing not unifying? You know what they both said? That they're waiting for Naoya anyway.
Yeah, well, too bad they gotta wait because Shushu's gonna beat
They're
his ass
holding
and
up
they're
their
never gonna
career for one
chance.
guy
Shushu gonna beat his ass and they're never gonna get a chance.
because
That's what's
they
up.
saw that Nick Ball lost his spot. Oh, Brandon Figueroa just turned down a fight. It was just told to me that he actually turned down a fight, and the reason why he turned down the fight because he's waiting on the winner of Junto and Naoya Inoue. They were trying to get them to get, but Bam Rodriguez, I guess, is going to skip the line. Bam's name, just him as a champion in general, as a fighter. I guess they felt Matt be the bigger, and I think they're right than Brandon. And the fact that Naoya Inoue hasn't chose to go up yet. But Brandon, this was just in one of the news letterheads that I would like, one of the top guys that are credible guys that I'd be checking out their feeds and shit because they're credible sources. And they said that Brandon, in fact, denied a fight. Yeah, I think it was with I think the rematch with Luis Pantera Nari actually. I forget who it was. No, because Luis Pantera Nari is fighting in June. He's fighting John Casamero, so that's not it. That's why I got Luis Pantera Nari's name in my head. I forget the guy that he had denied, but he's a popular fighter as well. He's at 126. He has to be. Let me look up 126 and I'll probably figure it out. But yeah, everybody's chasing Naoya Inoue. They want that fight, and I sometimes I can't blame them, but I think it was Aline. Who the hell was it? Maybe it was Luis Pantera Nari, because Luis Pantera Nari and the John Casamero fight fell apart. Remember, because of visa issues with John Casamero. So maybe that fight might have got brought it up, and Brandon shot it down. And the reason why he shot it down is because he was actually waiting for the Naoya and Junto fight to conclude for him to make his move or make his plead for, yo, Naoya Inoue, I'll fight you. You know what I mean? Because the risk is worth the reward to fight a fighter like Naoya Inoue. The reward, the upside to you beating him is so high. I mean, you're gonna be the first guy to beat the throne Naoya the monster Inoue. Naoya Inoue,
The
right?
Cookie Monster.
Shut up! Watch your mouth before you get wired. Phone hackers, get them, yo, You beat Naoya Inoue first. You take away all 4 belts. If you get 4 belts in any weight division, Hall of Fame. Okay, rematch, biggest payday, not once but twice. Your status would soar. And the fact that you have Naoya Inoue's name on your resume as a win, how many men can say that? How many men can say that? So he offers so much. And not only all that, like I said, your biggest payday on the fight that's definitely going to be a given. So, and Tiger Johnson, right? Check this out. Tiger Johnson was up there yesterday and they were announcing the fight. Ed Hearn was up there with Top Rank, and they were going back and forth and they were talking. Now, Bruce Carrington had a lot to say. Abdullah Mason had a lot to say. Tiger Johnson said a few things. Now, remember, it's Abdullah Mason and Tiger Johnson. They're from Cleveland. So when it came down to when the mayor was going to take a picture, Shushu had to slide to the side. This ain't New York, right? This is Cleveland. So when they got back together and they were all taking pictures, I couldn't help but notice that Tiger Johnson had no belt. And he's sitting there, front line. Remember yesterday I was typing in the chat. He was sitting there yesterday like this. And I was like, damn, Tiger, you need to get yourself a belt. Because I know you're standing there, right, as a young fighter, and you're looking at those belts. You feel a little left out. You want one of them. Especially that green belt that Shushu got. Man, that's a real WBC world title. Floyd had that shit.
Facts, low key. Facts.
Like,
facts,
yo,
100% facts.
Why not rematch this fucking guy? Why not rematch Junto Nagatani, right? Headbutt the fight.
Facts.
Change the fight's outcome. You want to know it did. That headbutt did change the fight's outcome, and I said it on my live. I got receipts. I said, damn, bro, I didn't want it this way. The momentum started to shift. Didn't you see Junto coming forward, bro? He was coming right at Naoya Inoue, bro. He was starting to have his moments. And then when Junto leaned in, because he's so tall, and Naoya Inoue is like straight up. Naoya Inoue was just an innocent bystander just out there. And then all of a sudden, this demon, this speed headbutt demon, and Junto Nagatani bashed his face. And the boxing gods rewarded Naoya Inoue by cutting Junto's head, the aggressor, the guy that was smacking Naoya Inoue in his face. Poor Naoya Inoue, he was in his stance, straight upright. You know, he was doing everything right. And it was just like this guy just thought he was going to headbutt him and get away with it. And the boxing gods answered, and it changed the outcome of the fight. That shit hurt it. You could see it. And Junto couldn't even. Junto at that point, mind you, check this out. Look at the damages. Junto, his orbital bone is fractured by that time, and then he split his head. And the only time, all jokes aside, the only time he ever showed like he was winking in pain was with the headbutt. So I know that motherfucking headbutt hurt. And it changed his coming in, because Naoya's relentless. I mean, you know, I don't want him to hurt or, you know, cause Junto any long terms or damage his career. No, I don't want that. But we are in the hurt business. We are in the hurt business. And if your opponent has a cut eye or a broken nose, I would suggest punch him right in the eye until he quits. I mean, this is what we're supposed to do. So when he suffered the cut, the first thing I would have did if I was Naoya Inoue, punch him in the cut. It's the right move. What are you going to show him mercy? Did you get in boxing to be like, oh man, he's got a cut? You know what? It wouldn't be right if I jabbed him in the cut. That wouldn't be sportsmanlike. Motherfucker, what do you think we're playing here? Table tennis? What do you think this is? No, I'm trying to knock you out. I'm going to try to smash your face. That's what I'm here to do. You got blood? Check it out. Thumb in the blood cut. Does that hurt? You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing. So that was the right move. Although I didn't like it when it happened in the fight, it kind of took the sale out of the win a little, just maybe 3%. 97%, Naoya Inoue whooped his ass. So, that scorecard, 116-112, told the real story of the fight. What it really was. That 115-113, that guy he might have took an envelope or something, but 4 rounds is basically what Naoya Inoue was up on Junto. The first 4 rounds that happened in the fight, they were Naoya's rounds. Junto wasn't even, he was just reading them. It was deserved though. The respect was warranted. You have to understand, Naoya Inoue can put your lights out at any time. And Junto can too. You just can't go in there fucking all willy-nilly. Oh yeah. No, bro, you're going to get knocked out. You're going to get knocked out. So that kind of fight was supposed to take place. The fact that their skills both held up, the trickery, the feints, the setting up traps, they both had an answer for each other. It was beautiful to watch, man. Just the footwork game in there, the smart adjustments they were making. It was just a joy to watch. It really was. I wish there was more action, blood, but unfortunately, if you're asking me to rematch Junto, I would only accept that in one condition. That Junto went out and proved himself again. So far, at 122, you got a loss and a struggled fight. Let's talk about the facts. You lost to me, and you struggled real bad in your last fights. Now, I got a big fight in front of me with Bam. While I'm fighting Bam Rodriguez, Junto pull a killer out into the dance floor with you. Not just no ordinary fighter. Pull some fighters out into the dance floor like Marlon Tapales, like Luis Pantera Nari, like all the fighters that Naoya Inoue beat. A lot of those guys are still there. But Junto, you never actually fought those guys. So pull some of them killers out there with you. Show you can beat them. Try to beat them in a more impressive fashion, even that Inoue did. Now we're talking. Now you're like, wait a minute. Naoya fought this guy. He went 8 rounds with him. Junto stopped him in 4. Naoya Inoue went 12 rounds with this guy, MJ. Junto stops him. Now we're looking a little better. Naoya, you couldn't stop David Allen David Picasso. But if Junto fights Allen David Picasso and stops him, and then fights MJ and stops him, now he's raising his hand again. Naoya, we fought. It was a close fight until I cut my head. I beat the guys you beat better. I think I'm worthy for another shot. He might be able to get it.
Hey, cut creator. He said it's Southpaw versus Orthodox. Who says it won't happen again, the headbutt in the rematch? Here's the difference.
I don't think it will.
Here's the difference. There's a difference between
I'm just
an accidental
answering.
headbutt, than you purposely grabbing the back of Junto's head, pulling him in towards your head. That's the difference. Go back and watch it again, Edwin.
This guy, oh my God, listen. Let me tell you something right now, right? You sound like my boy Two-Tone, the superstar. All right? He's over there sitting on Ness about being on the peptides. When I think my man, in fact, is on peptides his damn self. Yeah, I said it. Yo, Tone, you might be on them peptides. Peptide. Oh, yo. You ever see Tone?
Wait, matter of fact, hold on.
Hold on, chill. You ever see Tone back in the day? Like, yo, you know why I think Tone be on them peptides? You know why? Because remarkably, he can't identify any a piece of equipment in the gym but a Stairmaster. You mean to tell me a Stairmaster did all that when you got Ness, the Connect, hitting you off? Yo, when Tone, hold up. Let me show you something. Hey, yo, when Tone was looking somewhere like this, listen.
Things like blood flow.
What the fuck is that?
Yo, that's Tone. That's Tone. Hey, yo, all of a sudden he kind of skinny and shit.
Things like blood flow. Peptides. You got that peptides. Keep me on your side.
Yo, how did Tone get this skinny? He can't even identify. He can't even identify not one other piece of equipment but the Stairmaster. Yo, shout out to Two-Tone. Yo, I think he's on them peptides. I don't know. How the hell he get that skinny? Like, yo, he's losing my way. Hey, yo, Tone look like in this picture, like you just told him, hey, yo, Tone, I got a piece of cake waiting for you at the house. Look at him. Look at him.
Like blood flow.
Yo, look at Tone cheeks. Look at him. He like, yo, look at Tone. Yo, hell no. Yo, Tone trying to tell me, he's trying to tell us that he lost all that weight on a Stairmaster? Hey, yo, shout out to you, Two-Tone. Shout out to you. That's my boy, bro. Tone crazy. Yo, hey, yo, you know what happened, right? Frontline, you there? Hold up. Where's Frontline at? Frontline. Oh, he got a call. He ain't clicking in. Hey, Alicia was like, yo, Tone, I might get you a chance, but you might have to, do something about that blood flow
Things like
and get on them.
blood flow.
Peptides, peptides. You got the peptides, peptides. Keep me on your side.
I think he got on him. I think quiet is kept. Two-Tone crossed the line. Two-Tone, he went on the other side and shit. I think he on him. He might be on one of them dietary things or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to become the spokesperson of them shits, bro. You know what I mean? I gotta look them more up and shit, like, and do it and shit, right? Because, like, I've had conversations with other dudes about it. They're like, yo, you can't use peptides because that's cheating and shit. You're not natural. Like, I hear guys talk like that, and I'm like, what a dumbass. That's just even like a dumb concept to even think of. You do realize there's no water kicking in your door. You're not an athlete. You're not getting paid. It's not cheating. Oh, so wait a minute. It's okay for a girl to get a BBL, breast implants to enhance her looks, but it's not okay for an older man to get peds to increase his look. What is it? So the BBL is not cheating. So them women are not cheating. The tummy tucks, the fake hair, the nails, and you gonna talk to me about some peptides? Man, I'm about to sign up. When I get them shits, I'm gonna show you how I take them, when I take them, how I use them, what I'm looking like, everything. Ain't no Vada coming to my house. I'm a grown-ass man. You see, we as individuals gotta stop learning how to put ourselves, we're holding ourselves accountable to an athlete. Like, oh, you can't do steroids. Why? It's cheating. Cheating on what? Cheating on who are you cheating on? You're not a signed bodybuilder. It's there for you to buy. Then buy that shit. Use it. That's up to you. I don't know what to tell you, but if you're a professional athlete, no, you can't use that shit. You're a fucking cheater. You know what you signed up for, but everyday person, a citizen, like the fucking Dallas Cowboys are not going to ask me for a urine test. I can do whatever the hell I want. Why would, I guess some people are ashamed of it, come to think about it, but I don't give a fuck. Bro, if I ever started doing some shit like that, I'll show you exactly how I do it. I'll tell you what I'm on, how many times I do it. So what? Oh, you're not natural. Well, I've been natural all the way up to this point in my life. I don't even know what they look like. I couldn't tell you what one looks like. But I'm getting up there in age, and I'm thinking about trying some shit, because of the fact that I can. Simple. What's there to be embarrassed about? I guess if a guy was claiming to be all natural and he was using that shit, well, you're just a phony motherfucker. You're a fraud. Be a fucking man. If you dye your hair like me, my hair be gray as fuck. I dye my shit. So what? Dudes act like, oh, you dye your shit? Bro, learn how to take care of yourself and look good. And stop being on some shit like you're holding yourself to a standard like all these dudes were looking way older than their wives. Their wives are looking beautiful. And then here comes this guy, bald, with his fucking suit, fucking hair all the way out here, whiskers coming out of his nose, doesn't take care of himself. But his wife, she's got the fake hair color, the makeup game going. She done got a girdle underneath that, pulling her ass up, putting all that fat in place. Fucking, she's got a padded bra, cheating all day. When you take that makeup, honey, that's not what you look like. And then dudes are going to try to make another guy feel down about taking a peptide? The fuck I got to be down about? What would I have to be embarrassed for? I'm not signed to the fucking New York Knicks. Ties or that I'm looking good. Nah, baby, you cheating. That's not natural. I don't want none tonight. Until you stop using that shit, that's not gonna happen. She's gonna be like, man, you look amazing. Come here. You think women ask you on the street, yo, you're on the roids, the juice? They don't care about that shit. They just want to touch your muscles. That's it. And something else later, but still. Look, like, for me anyway, like I laugh at Tone and shit. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, because Ness be getting all over him. I think Tone is doing good, man. I think he's doing great. He's like losing the weight. Like he's got stuck in a little bit of place, but who gives a fuck? Like he's doing it at his pace. And I was like, wait a minute. What exercises does he do? When have you ever heard Tone say, man, I was in there getting 10 sets of squats today, just doing arms, back arm, none of that shit. What'd he say? I've been on the motherfucking tread machine. The what was it? The step machine. The shit the girls do. And I'm starting to sit here and I'm saying to myself, boy, Tone, if you don't quit it, you on them, you know, because for blood flow.
Blood flow.
Peptides, peptides. You got that peptides, peptides. Keep me on your side.
Yo, he on them. You know he on them. Stop that, Tone. Stop it. Look at you. Yo, Tone, what he's saying? He's all natural? I'm all natural. I'm not doing, yeah, right. As them dudes, they be lying and shit. He be lying. Yo, I'm going to order some. I'm going to try this shit. They got that. I've been reading up on the what is it? GHB or whatever, T, whatever it is. These letters and shit. You know, I'll fuck them up. Right? But I hope I don't fuck them up in my order. They'll be like, yeah, this is what you said on the phone. I was like, you know what I mean? You know, but I don't need more testosterone. I'm like an energetic dude, if you haven't noticed. Like, I got good energy. It's just that umph, you know, the drive kind of part of it. I can work out, but and then it gets tough, you know, shit like that. So you know, and then like I think for my age and everything, I've always been pretty durable. You know what I'm saying? Like remarkably, I'm still pretty strong, man. I'm still pretty strong. It won't take me long to get in the gym and be putting up 225 for 10 times. That won't take long at all. I'll probably struggle the first 2 weeks or whatever, and et cetera, like that. But, you know, once I get to like in the gym, when I get to like that 225 where I'm playing with the 225, and I'm getting that for multiple sets, 4 sets of like 8 or 10. And that's when I know like I'm feeling good. I'm like feeling good. Then like now, like I'm not like when I was younger and shit. I don't think I'll go up, you know, where I was like up there and shit. But probably now my goal, if I was to go back to the gym, would to at least put up 275, 245 plates in the quarter. At least that's where I would want to be in my head. It'll take me a little time to get there, and I know it would. So that would be my challenge. That's how I would motivate myself. I says, I'm coming in the gym. I know that 225 on day one is going to sit on me. You know, I'll get it once, twice, maybe even 3 times. Just strong now. Yeah, I can bench it once or twice or 3 times. It'll take a little time, you know, keep putting that weight on you. And then that's where I like to be. That's where I know that my strength and my body caught up to each other like that, you know, because I'm way under 225. I'm 190. So that's why I like to play with that weight right there. I'll stay right there. That's my will be my ideal to come back and do there right there. And that's not a difficult task anyway for me. It'd be pretty easy to
Yep.
get.
Hey, Edwin, I got a question. You think if Alicia
Yeah.
Baumgartner told Two Tone, if you get on them you think he'll get on them?
Do I think he would get on him? Here, let me answer your question. Let me answer your question right now.
Like blood flow.
Peptides, peptides. You got that peptides, peptides.
Yo, he's on him now because of her. He's pursued.
Hey,
You know what I'm
I ain't gonna
saying?
lie. In that picture, he looked thirsty too.
Hey yo, she just told him, get on them peptides and I'll be with you. Yo, hey yo, man, listen. He'd get on him. Don't be talking shit about him and shit. That's what makes me so suspicious about him right now. When somebody downs something that too much, you're like, wait a minute, you might be on that shit. See, like a person like me, I'm so transparent with a lot of shit because I'm not embarrassed by shit like that. I just, in my neighborhood, it was always watch what you say because somebody will call you out on that and be like, didn't you say this? So it kept us honest growing up. We knew that if you said, man, I fucked that dude up, and somebody heard you say that, they're going to say you said it. Then all of a sudden you're getting punked and embarrassed. And growing up in my neighborhood, we were real big on that. That's why I'm always upfront with everything because that's the way I grew up. Like, I just think that, if I was to take them or ever took them, whatever I'm gonna share it with you guys because there might be somebody out there watching that doesn't have the same knowledge I have or is experiencing the same thing I am, and me and him could talk about it like men. Some men are embarrassed. They're like embarrassed to admit they dye their head, embarrassed to admit they're wearing a toupee, embarrassed to admit that they go out and have manicures. Because of the machismo ego but no, I'm going to look just as good as my chick. And to a certain level, I'm not doing the eyebrow thing where it's like this or putting on the make. No, we're not doing none of that shit. But I'm going to look like a man. I'm going to look the most presentable I can feel. If I got to get my manicure or something, I think I got 3 manicures in my entire life because of her. But I never go out and get them. But I do my own shit, But I'm gonna get my hair cut. I'm gonna get my shit looking right, and we gonna go out and have a great time. I'm not going out with her, and she's looking beautiful, and I'm looking all old, busted. I'm looking like 5 times her age. And she looks, and everybody's telling her, oh, you look like you're 25. Yeah, because you put on your makeup with a roll on. Bro, you got so many sheets. Like, these women are crazy, but they do look beautiful. You got to admit, some of these women's makeup game is crazy. Some of these women look like witches. And when they're done with their makeup game, you like, hey. But when you wake up tomorrow and that makeup's on the pillow and she's looking at, yo, hit her with a 2-piece and run. But anyway, yo, I'm not doing that. I'm just the kind of dude that I see things for a little bit for, equality. Don't tell me about me cheating. Oh, you're doing bad. If I ever was. Your steroids or whatever. And you're not natural. Bitch, is that ass natural? How about them teeth? How about them titties? How about your eye color? How about your hair? Your nails? Yeah, get out of here, man. Man, women are cheating all the time. They're teaching us the way. You know what them chicks is living? Pro-life. That's pro-life. That's the top women in the world. That's called pro-life. And everybody else around them are haters. Why? Because you can't afford to look like her. That's pro-life. When you doing something and you living and people are looking at you, you're cheating. Nah, that's just pro-life. You don't know nothing about that. Because it costs a lot of money to live like this. It's crazy. So, and that's why I really never got into anything. First of all, thank you to my creator. He gave me a good body. I got to admit, he gave me something to work with, and I worked with it. And I was younger. I was a nice sized dude, and I've always been in good shape. Had the abs, the chest thing going, and it sustained me throughout my life because I have a real foundation. It wasn't a foundation based on steroids, where when you stop doing the steroids, you turn back into a pumpkin. So I've never knew what that life is, but I don't criticize anybody for chasing that. If that's what you want to do with yourself, do it. Who am I to say, oh, you're not natural, or you're this or you're that? No. Some of these dudes and women got great bodies, and maybe they're not all natural, and maybe you weren't supposed to be born with a big ass and have a little stomach. But guess what? You bought it. You feel good about yourself, don't you? Yes. Go have fun. I mean, who are we to sit here and do this? Not unless you're a professional. If your title does not say professional on it, then do all the fucking peds you want to do and stop acting like a little fucking and thinking that another man's perception on you should diminish. Stop putting your expectations on me. Stop telling me what you would do. The moral thing. Listen, I'm doing this to myself. I would be if I was a guy on it, But I'm
Wait. So let me ask you this. So you saying on the low ski,
yeah,
2 tones on the peptides?
he might be. I don't know. How's he losing all this weight? When does he work out? Damn it! What does he do? Has he ever put up a workout tape? Yo, he only talks about one piece of equipment, the Stairmaster. Brother, you didn't do all that on the Stairmaster.
So he cheating on the low.
You gotta be. But it's not cheating if you got it. It's actually not cheating. If he was doing peptides, congratulations. You got a problem in your life. You don't like the way you feel or look. You're stepping up to the plate and you're doing something about it. It might take a long time to do it the natural way. So they got this substance that you can take. If the substance doesn't kill you, hurt you, hopefully it doesn't, and it helps you, then why shouldn't you take it? Let's just be honest. What is wrong with actually taking them and doing something to look better?
That motherfucker's on Ozempic if he's losing weight rapidly like that.
No, they got peptides. They got dietary ones that you can take that shit. It's supposed to be from what I read, one of the best dietary supplements out there. It's a PEDS, right? So, I started thinking, I was like, yo, Totone's always trying to rock Ness. And me, he had me on the show, and my clip when Ness was explaining to me, and I had no idea what the fuck they're talking about. I'm sitting there and Ness just became this fucking peptide dude, right? And I see Ness's point. I can't really get on Ness. Ness is not an athlete. He's not a professional, nothing. Who's he going to piss dirty for? No one. He's buying a product of something and using it. Okay, where's the problem? I don't understand. Oh, you're not natural. Well, then naturally shut your fucking mouth and go that way with your opinion. Because I don't think what you say about me dictates my life. Do you pay my rent? Do you pay my bills? Do you pay for me to eat? Are you paying for the peptides for me? Then shut the hell up and go that way with your opinionated ass. That's just the facts. Don't ever let anybody stop you from doing or looking the way you want to look if it's in a healthy way. You know, unless you're going out there saying, I hate the world and tattooing it on your forehead, I would have to stop you and not advise you not to do that. But other than that, if you want to eat and chew all the steroids you want in the world, like I said, if you're not an athlete, if you're not a professional in anything, then go do that. Go do it. I hope it doesn't kill you. I hope you don't go into a big drug spin. Most of these guys that I found out that are all on this steroid shit become junkies. They become drug addicts. It's a slippery slope. Know what you're getting into. But I can't stop you. If this is a decision a person made, well, then that's the decision you made. I'll do my research on this shit. I'll try to tell you guys about it. But to tell you the truth, Ness doing it, OC the boss doing it. All I'm saying is if I fight OC the boss again, I want a urine test out of that man. 100% fact, no. I want a urine test, hair sample. Oh, he doesn't have hair. Fuck. Shots fired. Yeah, he might be on them peptides. Yo, OC the boss. But I don't care. I don't care if he was on him or not. If I knew he was on him for his leg and shit, I'd still fight him. Yeah. That shit ain't gonna make him that much better or anything. And even if he did, fuck it. He needs it. He's gonna need it the next time we fight. So I don't care. I don't care, bro. I fought dudes probably on steroids, didn't even know it before. They might have been on some shit and I fought them. I don't have any proof of that. Maybe they weren't, but I fought some muscle-bound dudes, bro. Yeah, I did. So, I don't look at the sport like that. But there are certain peptides I will not fight you on. But not the one that OC and them they're taking. No, not for that. That's like to heal and regenerate. It's not for like eye-to-eye coordination. And it might give them a little bit more stamina. But really, you're only fighting for 3 rounds. How much stamina? If you got to do a peptide to fight, I guess some people would, right? Yeah, I guess so.
Shit, people use peptides to fuck because their dick don't get hard.
It might be, yeah.
Think about it. Viagra Cialis, it's a steroid. It's to help your blood flow down there.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I didn't think of it like that. So you could use it for that too, session. Who am I going to do? I'm going to tell the girl. The girl's going to be like, you smashed it, right? You trashed it for like 2 hours. After sex, she's going to look at you and go, oh,
you cheated.
That wasn't natural.
You cheated.
That wasn't natural. You were on that peptides. Nah, I can't give you credit for smashing it like that.
I want a rematch.
I want a rematch, but this time without the... Get the hell out. She's going to help you inject that shit the next time. She's going to be like, what the fuck were you on? Let's up the ante, the dose. Let's increase it by 10.
This time, not just one, take 2.
Yeah, we're gonna take 2 shots. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, just if you're just not a professional athlete, I don't promote this. I know very little about it. From what I'm reading right now, I'm definitely ordering something. I'm gonna have something on the way. Like I said, I'm an open book with y'all. I'm gonna show you every step of the way. Everything I do, how I do it. Bro, I'm going to be the spokesperson. I'll be happy like Ness is doing. Just like Ness is doing. Because what are you embarrassed about? What the fuck are you should be hiding? Why am I hiding that I'm using a pad? Why are we automatically put in a situation we should feel embarrassed? That's how the world got you. You needed to know how to separate that shit. Embarrassed of what? Yeah, I take them. And? Can you actually buy me some? Send them to me. I'll take them for you. How about that? Right? Like, if you're embarrassed and you don't know how to speak up for yourself as a man, well, then that might be something you need to work on. But me? No. I'm teaching y'all. Man, listen. I'm not teaching you to do anything bad. Anything good. This works with everything in life. It doesn't have to be beds. This happens everything like if this is what you want to do and this is what you want to look like, this is what you want to be. That's the job you want. That's the girl you want. And this and that, then go for it. That's my message. I don't know much about this shit, so you're gonna have to study and look up what hurts you, what could affect you on your own. I'm not a scientist. I'm just teaching you not to feel embarrassed. Because the world got us feeling embarrassed for certain things we should not be feeling embarrassed for. Yes, I dyed my beard, I dyed my hair. You don't know how many times I talked to dudes that told me, oh, that's cheating. Oh, that's cheating? Shut the hell up. Like, women are starting to want us to take care of ourselves. The era of body hair and bushes and shit, that shit is over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, men are trying to, you got to stay with the curve man. And I just got to a point in my age and I was just like, hold up, wait a minute. I'm watching my wife get dressed one day. You know how many girdles, bra things, trickery, tape, fucking, all the tricks in the book women use. Somehow that's not cheating. Somehow. And I'm just sitting there looking at it and going, nah, ain't no dude gonna have me feel, man, yeah, I get a manicure. Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, I get my feet done. Or yeah, I do that. Anything I would do, I would say, yeah. Even though I don't do any of those things, I wouldn't be embarrassed to say I did. Because I don't got the money to be going out there and taking care of myself like that. But if I did, I would. I would. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? And just don't feel embarrassed for something you want to do, like something like that. If I don't believe in that. If you're not embarrassed, then don't do it. If something makes you feel embarrassed, then maybe you shouldn't be doing that, right? That's all I'm saying. Maybe you shouldn't be doing that. So it is what it is. So fight fans, thank you for tuning in. I'm like the what? The Latin what? Michael Scott? Who's Michael Scott? Who the fuck is that? I hope he's a good looking dude, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yo, fight fans, listen. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. And like always, I'll be on the net. Like always, on to the next one right after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Hey, yo, Frontline.
Yo,
Frontline, check this out. I'm about to end the live, but I'm just letting you know I got an email and they're sending you the upgraded version of the Neoya Inoue pillow.
no, I don't want it.
And
I want a full
you
refund.
Anyway, se me acabó el tiempo. Anyway, Frontline accepted the pillow. He has it once again. He secretly has a tattoo right on the top of his chest. It says Neoya Inoue for life. But he's a real fan, but he's just trying to be tough. Yeah, so fight fans, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like. The members that have became members and long-term members, like Peace to God. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for making this possible and for me to be able to do this day in and day out for you guys. Thank you. You guys make this all possible. Thank you. Let's get this video up to 100 likes. Peace.